Good evening, straight back amongst it for this one. Last 16, Phil Harrison versus Jon McAllister. What a game this is lined up to be. I'm joined on comms by Stevie Dempsey. Evening, Stevie.
How's it going, Nick?
Yeah, very good, thank you. And again, should be a cracking game. Two players who, they've both been at the top of the game for a very, very long time. Two former world champions, and clash of the titans, really.
Yeah, I suppose. I think it was in the last round, John. He got through in the sixth round against Christoph. I think Christoph will be disappointed with that one. I think John had got a time of 30-something seconds, and Christoph just ended up missing a couple of balls, and it sort of got away from him. But I think John will sort of be free rolling in his own head here. But obviously we'll still be giving it his all here to try and win. But and then obviously Phil, anything I've seen of him over the weekend, and I feel like the last 2 months or so he's come into a real sort of vein of form.
For sure.
He seems to just be that little bit of extra focused going around the table in the last couple of tournaments. I think he's going to be very tough to beat this weekend. He seems to have the break. He's breaking very well, like just keeping the white ball so controlled, not hitting them that hard, but seems to be just popping the pack out, and there's always a ball or two going in.
Yeah, really good summary. I mean, Phil probably, by his high standards, has not had the best probably season and a half. I think he kind of regularly is in the winner's circle, regularly lifts trophies, but probably just been a bit of a bare spell for him.
Yeah, I think maybe it took him a while maybe to, I suppose, just get the grips and adapt to the new format with Ultimate Pool. I know it's like we're 2 or 3 years in, but maybe it hasn't quite suited Phil's game, and I think it seems to be in the last while that he's sort of, maybe just fully accepting it for what it is and getting used to it. And I think he's just sort of getting on with it a bit more now. But he seems to be playing very, very well. The white ball seems to be back to what it used to be. I suppose he would have always been known for having a great white ball control. And that's definitely the case in any of the matches I've seen him play in the last couple of weeks and months.
For me, one of the best cue balls in the game. I mean, I've always said it. Is just the way he controls that ball. If you watch him, if you compare his game, they're incomparable, really. But to someone like Sean Chipperfield, who really uses that cue ball around the table, Phil, if you could put a little whatever they call it, like a little pedometer that measures the distance that cue ball travels over a match, I doubt there's many players that travel less than Phil.
Yeah,
because he's rarely out of position.
Exactly, yeah. Someone like himself and Ronan McCarthy, I would say, very similar in their type of way they go about finishes. They very rarely have to play a big shot.
There's nothing extravagant.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the extravagant shot in his arsenal if he needs it, but he rarely uses it.
Yeah, he's a terrific player. He's getting off to a nice start, going about with these with very little fuss. So takes a one-frame advantage here. With a break like that, he's got every chance. He really crunched them.
He's got an absolute monster of a break, and that was probably about 70% of the power that he's got.
Yeah, it just looked so effortless there. He didn't look like he was even trying to hit them hard, and it just popped out.
The power in that, the way he's brought that cue back and sent it through, it literally looked like a stun shot.
Yeah.
But the balls have absolutely erupted. It's a bit awkward though, Stevie.
Yeah, I think the yellows are fine if he can just figure out a way to nudge that. And he might be able to do it in this shot. It's just the cloths are so reactive. Like, he would love to be able to just cannon that red in between the 2 yellows, and that's what he's tried to do. But he'll take that. Yeah,
that works actually. That works.
So he's got a shot now to screw back into the red, and not guaranteed to be nice, but if he flicks off it, he should be on one of the other 2 yellows on the right hand side of the table. So I think he'll be still happy enough. Just needs to make sure he catches some of the. He hasn't even.
Looks like he's fancies himself to drop it in the middle here.
Yeah, I don't mind that shot either, I suppose, but these are definitely missable. I think he would have liked to have come maybe a roll less and had a little angle to come out.
Yeah, he can go forward a roll of the ball.
Stunning it in. Definitely
that makes
missable.
it harder.
Like this, yeah, definitely missable. It
Wow.
was always risky when you were playing it like that.
I'm a little bit surprised actually, because if you just play that with a a little bit of top spin, you don't have to hit it at the same pace. You only need to go like a ball's distance forward, and he's going to be on the yellow just below the bulk line
Yeah.
into the top right.
Yeah, I understand why he was trying to do it. You know, he wanted to get ball in hand perfect, but the most important part of that shot was getting the pot.
Yeah.
You know, you were still in relatively decent shape after it, and yeah, they're just the type of shot you can never take for granted. They're always missable. So he's let Phil it back in here. But yeah, he'd be disappointed with that, Sean, because he played a pretty nice shot to get where he was on his first one.
And of course now he's opened everything up. It's just it's dot to dot for Phil.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that one on the right hand side, which might be a little tricky, but if he gets nice on it, he's never going to miss it. He can even play the double if he wants to, and Phil's probably one of the best doublers in the world, so he's never going to shy away from it if he has to play it.
The one thing that it feels, the couple of times that I have watched Phil over this weekend, is that he seems to be getting used to this clock. And it's stupid to say it because it's taken him 2.5 years, but this is the player who, for me, has struggled with this clock more than anybody else, because he's got a way that he prepares for a shot. He loves to walk around the table, exactly what he's doing now. He'll walk around the table, he'll eye it up, he'll just look at his pattern, exactly what he wants to do, and he does that religiously. Even if he's on a 15-second clock, you'll still see him do it, and suddenly he gets the big 5 appear on the screen, and you'll see him suddenly dive into a shot with only 2 seconds left, and he gets caught out so often. Look at him now, he's even pushing the clock down to 3 seconds, and you'll constantly see him pushing that timer, and he's probably had more time fouls than anybody else on the circuit. But he does seem to be now getting used to it. You know, he's maybe just found a way to change his process a little bit.
Yeah, and maybe those time fouls have forced him into doing it. You know, that he just was like, he sort of bit the bullet and been like, right, I'm costing myself matches here with these errors. And I think one of those, probably the most, the worst of his time fouls was probably against me in Pro Series 7 with the 20 seconds left on the clock when he pretty much had the game won.
Yeah. I remember that. That was amazing.
But yeah, he's looking very clinical here.
Yeah, this is when Phil Harrison's at his wonderful best. Just eats up the chances, and it was a simple clearance, but those simple clearances just occasionally go wrong.
I look forward to seeing Carl Morris in action in the Clash of the Titans in the Brentwood Arena now in December. Really looking forward to that. Should be a great event. I presume you're going to go to it, Nick?
I don't know. I haven't.
You haven't received the official invite. I'm
No.
inviting you. I'm officially extending the branch.
Well, thank you. What's the dates?
It's the 16th of December.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be wonderful to be involved for sure.
Yeah, and again, the white ball control there was just perfect.
Makes a ball again.
Another great chance. The yellows are pretty nice here. Assuming that one next to the black goes into the left centre. You know, the reds aren't too bad either. I guess it's just how he sees it. He'll probably play the reds here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was my first instinct. Only because he's got that nice opener to middle, and then they kind of link together, don't they?
Yeah, I think
you've got the one down the left-hand cushion, which is made easy.
Just needs to be careful of the centre pocket here, but he'll probably stun on and off the side rail here, and he's played that lovely.
Yeah, gentle screw. So this is going to be aided by the fact it's a huge pocket, but he just needs to play a.
I think he's going to play his 3 reds at the bottom here into the one corner pocket, and then he's just going to leave the one up top for last and come down and play the 8 ball into the other opposite corner. I think that's the way he's going to go about it.
Yeah, a little.
So he just needs to make sure he's straight on this next ball, and then he's played that. He's left himself a bit of an
Bit
angle
short,
here.
I think. It's a little bit short. He could have. You can tell by his body language he's not happy. I mean, that's not going to tell you much.
No, that's not going to say much.
That's not going to tell you much. He's probably plumb. He may have that kind of angle where he can actually come through the gap now. Maybe he can just graze off the yellow.
He's going to clip the black out here, I think. So.
Ooh, yeah, he's still okay. He's still okay.
Yeah, for me, I think I would have went the other way, but he's still fine here. But
yeah,
I think he needs to. Yeah, he can either come down for his one down the bottom, play the one on the right hand, the most extreme right hand side first, anyway, and then So I think he can either go up the table or just if he can get out past the black here and play the other one. Yeah, he's fine. So very clinical stuff so far from Phil.
Spins the cue ball off that right side rail and leaves himself in prime. That's the farmer. He's found his rhythm very early in this match.
And on table number 3, we've got another last 16 match between Greg Batten and Liam White. So Liam has come out of the box quite quickly there. He's on a 2-0 lead against Greg. So
a big one for Jon now. Goes without saying, 3-0. He needs to get himself on the board. Just get himself established in the match. Needs a big break. Yeah, he didn't time that at all well. Did not time that at all well. Unlucky to go in off, but the cue ball squirted straight over to that side cushion.
yeah, he'll not be too disappointed though. I think he's going to get to the table here. Quite awkward to know what Phil can do here. Well, to be honest with you, I think his first shot, the only way he's got a chance of really opening these up, I think, play the one in the centre that's just beside the middle of the table and try and go into the other. I think that's got to be his first shot. And then he can figure out what he wants to do up top after that. Yeah, or he's choosing to make this a scrappy frame.
Well, with a 3-0 lead, you can't really blame him. I mean, still absolutely acres of time left on the clock, but Phil will be very happy to strip 7-8 minutes off. You can't blame him for that at all. Other players would have definitely gone on the attack there, especially 3-0 up, thinking, well, if I can make a clearance here, then 4-0 is totally in charge. But, Phil playing the percentages.
Yeah, it's not the type of frame you want to be getting involved in with Phil. He's so good at these cagey affairs. And I think that's a foul. Yeah, it is.
He's not hit a cushion.
So Phil can just take one of his balls off the table here. You'll see him probably play the long plant, and that will leave him a decent sized favourite in this frame, I think. Yeah, nicely played. So Jon's really up against it here. He probably needs to bring these two balls into play. Oh, and he doesn't want that to go. Lucky. He would have liked to bring the other one into play as well, but
This frame's definitely going to take some time off the clock. just opening up both of those.
Yeah, I mean, Jon might be forced into trying to go for these. Doesn't have much option. He needs to figure out the best way to get into this one at the bottom. He's going to clip and come down. It's not a bad shot. But
Do you think he maybe was trying just to nudge into the red there, just to open it up?
I think he was trying to snooker him, Phil,
Yeah.
on everything else
Right.
except that yellow.
Yeah.
And force him to open it up, but yeah, I mean, that red's in even more trouble now.
Yeah, that's a horrible ball to try and develop. Just guarded on all angles. Yellow's in control and Phil Harrison in no hurry whatsoever.
It's a nice shot. Very nice shot. The where Jon's red is on the top right hand side of the table. He's probably hoping to use that as a breaker ball. It's not in a bad position for it, but yeah, he's relying on a lot of luck to get on that red, and the one that he's breaking out. But Phil's not going to leave him anything. He's tied to red up even more. I mean, if I'm Jon here, I think I'm just I need to do something with this red. So now he's left the loss of turn here again for Phil, and yeah, if Phil nails this one, Jon is in all sorts of trouble.
Well, this is a bit of a rare sight in international rules, to have a really cagey frame. It's rarely it happens.
If I'm Jon here now, I think just with those two yellows safe in the bottom cushion, I think I'm going to try and smack this double up into them and just try and break them out, because I don't see it. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I guess he's trying to get that somewhere up the table so he can use it to try and develop that red, but yeah, I'm with you. While these two yellows were tied up, now Phil's going to open them. Well, he's just putting a bit more pain on. He's in no rush whatsoever. He's in torture mode.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost in Jon's best interest just to lose this frame quickly, because I don't really see how he's gonna.
Yeah, the last thing you want here is to, for it to be a 15-minute drawn-out frame and still be 4-0 behind. But with only 22 minutes or something like that on the clock, you as you say, you're probably better off just lose it quickly and move on. He needs time on the clock if he's going to come back into this match.
Yeah, Jon can develop this one on the right hand side now, I think, though. I don't think I'd be. Is he trying to get the ball over the pocket? Yeah, that's what he's done. Clever shot. Still don't really know what it does for him, though. I think that shot would have been there in a couple of minutes' time, but I just think he needs to get that red on the right hand side developed as well. Nicely played from Phil.
John looking a bit dismayed with that. It's like,
Yeah, I think he's complaining about that the table sort of rolled off a
I
bit
think
on him.
he's had a couple.
Yeah.
That maybe have just hit finger marks and pulled away.
Nice shot. So he's doing pretty well here, John, to stay in this frame, considering where he was. He's not just throwing the arm at anything and trying to break them out. He's meticulously trying to just sort of edge himself back into the frame.
Yep. Yeah, showing good patience. Already 9 minutes this frame. One of the longest frames I've seen in a long time, that's for sure. Goodness me. Have a bit more pain.
Yeah, that's not the best of shots from Phil, actually, because if John can screw into that now, he's going to be snookered after it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And he got it. Oh. But not the end of the world, because Phil probably won't want to play this, but he's not really got anything else to go at.
Can he keep this out? That's what he's trying
Oh,
to do.
he's
Oh my
fouled.
goodness, Phil.
So now John can.
What do you do here? I mean, you can pot that red to the right hand corner, run into the 8 ball and pot the yellow at the same time.
You know what he's looking. Do you know what I think he's looking at here? Yeah, the first shot he's going to play the red and the combo to leave the 8 ball over the pocket. And I think he's just going to settle for having to go with the long double as his last ball.
Yeah.
And having the 8 over the pocket as a free shot, but maybe he's playing the double here. I thought that's what he was eyeing up a few seconds ago. See, that's no good to him either, really. He needed to get the white in there, I think. And play
Yeah.
the snooker.
Yeah. What a frame of pool. It's really refreshing to see a good tactical frame. Two cushions. No, did it from one.
Yeah, it's an intriguing frame, all right. Phil is, still favoured here, but he just needs to be careful with whatever he does. Yeah, so he's going to play the last turn and try and sneak the white back down to the bottom rail and cover all the reds.
He's left a good angle to do that. Side cushion in behind those two yellows. Needs to judge the pace right though. Doesn't want to push that red out. I think that's possibly why he's underhit that. He didn't want to overhit it and nudge the red out, so. Even though, should I say even so, it's
I don't know if John will go for it, or maybe he's going to try and screw into this, is he? Oh, that's an excellent effort. Oh, but he's covered the 8 ball. So can Phil play the loss of turn down the bottom? I'm not sure he can.
no, I don't think so. Well, he's looking at it. Maybe a bit of manufacturer plan, possibly. I mean, this was frame over if John hadn't covered that 8, because Phil could have placed the ball on the right hand side of the table and potted the yellow, the top of these two, and developed the other. He's just going to sit in behind the yellow. Double off the yellow. What else does he have? Double off the yellow and open it all up.
Yeah, that's the shot. John's shaking his head again. He feels that there's definitely somewhere, but I mean,
Yeah. Seems to be a roll there, doesn't it? I mean, it feels like he's so invested in this frame now that he doesn't want to pull the trigger on like a 40% shot, but it's hard to see a way back into this. That shot was a bit of a forlorn hope, you know, the double down off the yellow, but
I think I would have been gone. A couple of shots ago, he's had a good, I suppose, a sneak at finishing it with a, as you said, maybe a 15% chance. Nice shot again. He's played a couple of lovely shots in this frame. They don't look like much, but they're just they're almost teasing Phil into pushing the boat out. You know.
Yeah, that was really well judged. Phil needs to take care here. He needs to watch the pace. Doesn't want to push the yellow onto the red and release it. He had to play it hard enough that he didn't get any kind of roll off or movement off a finger mark. But can Jon graze this ball? Not sure he can. Now do you send the red down to this right hand side?
I think he's just worried about if he leaves Phil in a good position with a good white ball to play the yellow that's over the middle, to play that inside.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's just been careful of. So he's just played that. That's another nice shot.
He's covered that yellow, has he?
Yeah, well he can leave it, but it's a tough shot from where the white ball is.
Yeah.
If the white's down around the back line there, it's a pretty easy shot. So I think he's just careful with that.
Jon McAllister shown his tenacity here, but now there's 15 minutes off this frame. And this is exactly what Phil Harrison would have wanted when he came to the table initially and put that first ball safe. 15 minutes and counting. Still favourite in this frame, and 22. Clock coming down to 22 minutes.
I think if I'm John here, I'm going to try and play the loss of turn. Going to play play this with a bit of top and try and send the white into the yellow. And that's what he's done. He's played it well, perfectly played. So he's done really well here, I must say, John, to
he really has
keep himself in this frame.
Fair play to him if he can find a way, but it looked like it's looked like a forlorn hope all the way through this.
Yeah.
So he's giving Phil real headaches.
Yeah, I think if the match clock wasn't an issue here, we would have seen Phil play a couple of different shots. You know, there's been a few times where he could have taken the initiative in the frame, but he's decided to maybe tie a ball up that little bit more and just, I suppose, really drag the frame out. But so is John looking at sending the red down on the inside here?
I was wondering if there's any value in that, but
or no, he's going to place. He's looking to develop it and try
cushion
and play
first.
safe. Needs to be careful here.
Yeah, needs to hit a cushion.
No.
Oh, he's not hit a cushion.
And is that a plant? If the plant is on here, then he's in real trouble.
That's disaster.
And you know, even if the plant doesn't go and he gets the red over the pocket,
there's
not much he can do.
That's a shame for Jon McAllister, because he really played well to get himself back in this frame, and just that one shot. Locked up.
So 17 minutes off the clock in this frame, and ultimately, I mean, he's clutching straws here, just trying to miss just past the middle pocket here. Oh. Yeah, he had to sort of play that, I guess.
I mean, you called it early doors, didn't you? He's almost worth losing it quickly, because ultimately he's going to lose the frame, but there's going to be 18 minutes off the clock, and Phil Harrison will be over the moon. 4 ahead with 20 minutes left. He'd be happy for another frame like this. It's game over then. Clever by Phil, really. Just pile on the torture. Maybe a shade straighter than ideal. Those kind of shots you'd kind of like to use the side cushion, but it was fine. He can just screw straight back in a line, and he's still on this 8. And that frame took 19 minutes, and it's 4-0 to Phil Harrison.
This one didn't catch them quite as well. You seen the white going to the right hand side.
Yeah.
His first 2 breaks where the white was almost just popping up and back, but yeah, he just caught them a little bit. Still wasn't bad, they just never really popped out the way he wanted them to. So he's going for yellows here, is he?
Yeah, a chance to get a quick one on the board as well, which is exactly what Jon McAllister needs at this point. He needs frames on the board, and he needs them fairly quickly too. So a 2.5 minute frame will be the order of the day here for him.
Yeah, the one on the right hand side, I don't think it goes past the red into the centre. So that's probably his only tricky one, but I mean, for that reason alone, yeah, I'd be playing this one and getting clear on that pocket for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much perfect. He can play the bottom one now and get the white back to, not far, I suppose, just come back up and leave himself with an angle to play the one that we just mentioned a second ago that the white's beside now. He's got a lovely smooth cue action, has Jon. Delivers it really well. He's not happy with that, but he's fine. He's underhit it by so much that I think he can actually screw straight back and come out a bit. So he's still fine here. Yeah, he hasn't quite got into that the way he wanted to. He's running a little bit awkward here now.
I'm sure you guys at home heard the gong in the background. That was for the final of the wheelchair event. I mean, I'm not sure who's won it yet. The scorecard hasn't updated. It's showing 1 frame each. So maybe the timer's run out at 1 each. And there's no 6 red shootout in that event, but I assume they probably play a deciding frame.
Jon has just played a pretty nice shot and give himself nice on this yellow. Still has a little bit of work to do here, but he'll be happy. And that is a beautiful shot. Just, oh, he's been unlucky there.
He navigated that shot so well to come around those 2 reds, and really unlucky to be hampered here. I mean, it just increases the difficulty. It goes from unmissable to maybe you miss one of these in 10. At this standard, I mean, I'd miss it about 9 times, but we fully expect Jon to get it. But it just creates that little bit of doubt, doesn't it, Stevie? The dry one for Jon McAllister is not what he needed there. After that quick clearance in the last frame, then he needed to find a ball here to get his second frame on the board. And the dry one is, yeah, that's wasn't in his playbook. It's not without its problems, this table. It's got the yellow towards the top that needs to be developed.
A bit too far there, yeah. I think he wanted to. He's still okay. Not bad. He's going to try and play this off the red and open up that pocket. Yeah, if he gets this one right, this should be all there. Excuse me. And he didn't. It was always tricky when the red was close to the cushion. And the fact that he wasn't dead straight on it, it made it that much more difficult. So Jon will be happy to get another chance here after having a dry break, but yeah, the reds are slightly awkward. Bit of work to do, but you know, he'd be delighted to be back at the table here. You know, Phil has been quite flawless for the first 4 frames or so, but you know, just that one miss all of a sudden, and Jon's back in the match, and it can make a huge difference mentally. Obviously, Phil is, you know, he's really good, got a really strong mental fortitude. So it would take a lot to put him off his game, but you know, he'll definitely be feeling it if Jon can clear these reds up from here. It's a nice shot.
Just 3 minutes away now from the 15-second shot clock as well. You'd think that would just favour Jon a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. If he can flick the yellow here, and that is perfect. That is exactly the way he wanted to play that. Beautiful shot.
He's played some really good pool, actually, hasn't he?
Yeah, which is strange to say when he's 4-1 down, but I suppose, you know, that frame, I know he ultimately lost it, but it did let him get his hand on the table and get a feel for the table a lot, so you know, you'd imagine that he's well prepared, you know, set to take any chances that come his way. This would be a huge finish if he can get it, but I think he's landed slightly awkward. He wanted to be a bit more straighter or slightly lower. Yeah, and he's just landed with a funny angle, as you can see from the overhead. I don't know if he can actually follow through. He might be playing on the double, or oh, he's played that really nicely. Really, really nice.
Very different complexion on this game at 4-2 than it was at 4-0. Now the pressure is going to be back on the next break of Phil Harrison's. That's again really well structured, good control.
Yeah, that's a superb finish. It's been the best finish of this match. So he's looking for that, just the pop back of the white here, and yeah, just like that. That's exactly the break he's looking for.
Great contact. It's that little skip of the cue ball, don't you?
And these reds are plumb, because the one on the left hand side that looks awkward has got a easy connector ball, and it goes in the opposite corner past the black. So So you would expect to see Phil take these out, but you just never know. The way these tables are, and they're so reactive, it's very easy to lose the white ball. Um, Phil is the master of cue ball control, but even he can, I suppose, on these very reactive cloths, let the white ball get away at times. But there shouldn't be too much movement of it on this finish, the way the balls are situated.
The way he's gone about these, you've got to think, does that red pass the yellow to the top left?
I mean, it has to.
Must.
Well, it's just
Doesn't look like it for me, does it?
no, I would have expected it. It was going, but I think I would have come down for it earlier. He had a chance to play for it on his fourth last ball, but he decided not to. But he's still good here. Oh, he's quit on it. He's worried about overrunning it now. This is very tricky. He needs to get the white ball back over to the left hand side of the table, and he needs to get down and play the shot. This is a tough one.
Maybe against the clock here, Phil.
And it's just got there. It's a great shot.
Oh, that's a really good shot.
Yeah, it's a great shot.
Oh, Jon McAllister will be so upset about that. I think just for a second he would have thinking that he's got half a chance there. But Phil Harrison shuts the door. So the comeback here starts with this break. Needs a ball.
Oh, let's try again.
Yeah, doesn't get one. That break's not fired for him at all.
As he gives the table a thumbs up. Ironically. Yeah, I think he's only part of one break in this match. And this is going to suit Phil down to the ground, because he's just going to run the clock down as much as he needs to, and as much as he can. Even if he loses this frame and he takes 4 minutes off the clock, 5 minutes, he'll be delighted. And again, he'll probably just roll into the yellow here and leave Jon with no shot.
Push the boat out here. Take the long red and try and develop the other at the same time. No. No such thoughts. Maybe the angle wasn't there. No, he played a plant to middle.
Now he's left a chance for Phil, so Phil can use that. It's going to be hard to get it out though, because you'd imagine that you're going to be. Oh, he needs to hit it. Oh, that was time foul, was it? It was definitely very close.
That's close. Wow. The clock seemed to hover on a second. He does push the boundaries.
Oh, what a shot he's played there, and he has been very unlucky there. To play that at that pace with the white glued to the rail, I mean, that's very unlucky, and he needs to make up his mind what he's going to play here.
going.
Still going, yeah, and I mean, he might lose this frame, but as he said, if he can just take some time off it, because Jon probably doesn't. He's actually got an angle to go into them here. That's a great shot.
Goodness me, Phil Harrison. He just keeps potting balls, and surely he can.
Gonna try and screw into the red here, is he? Yeah, and the check side. That's not bad. It's not bad. What a finish this will be if he can get out from here. I'm not even going to try and call what he's going to try and do here, but that is just some
Goodness
shot.
me, Phil Harrison. Take a bow, sir.
And that, I'm afraid, whatever chance Jon had at 5-3, I mean, that's match over now at 6-2.
That's an incredible finish from absolutely nowhere. He just kept pulling out miracle after miracle. Well done, Phil Harrison. What a frame of pool that is. Oh, that's not going to lighten Jon McAllister's move. One of the last balls moving on the table finds its way into the pocket.
He'd already potted the red.
Oh,
Yeah.
he had as well. Sorry,
Yeah, there was a
I
red
didn't see the red go in.
A red flew in at the start.
It did.
You're doing Phil an injustice there, Nick.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that is the fickle nature of this game, where Jon really has not done too much wrong, and I mean, we've all been there. When the break is just not happening for you, it's difficult to beat anyone. At this level, it's you can only really play as well as you're breaking at the end of the day, and it's just not happened for Jon today. And he's just got there. What a nice shot that was. I mean, if I'm Jon McAllister there, I'm just like, oh, please, Phil, give me a break.
6-2 up, and he's fuming because he's not landed on the ball to the left, but he's pretty plumb on the one to the right.
And now you'll see it again.
You'll see it again. Look at that.
I mean,
He's fuming with himself.
the match is over, Phil.
It's done and dusted. It just shows what a perfectionist he is, though. Just wants to get every shot exactly how he planned it.
Go on, give us. You could see the white just did drift to the right hand side there, so maybe
Yeah, definitely.
maybe Jon has a point.
Hats off. Sublime performance from Phil Harrison. And he marches on